Welcome to another random podcast by the Department of Understanding Humans. This could be considered your cautionary warning to proceed with caution, cautiously. We talk about random things. We have a conversation about what's going on, and occasionally we curse. We do also insult everybody equally, so enjoy.
Buckle up, kid. Shit's gonna get weird.
Okay.
You do not sound like a Dalek telling me, we exterminate.
Exterminate. We are here to exterminate you.
We obey the one.
Oh.
The doctor. Anyway.
Oh, hey, David Tennant is coming back as the bridge doctor.
Really?
Yeah, there's going to be so between this last doctor and the next doctor, which is a young black male that they chose and are really super excited about. I don't know anything else about him. I just know that he's a really good actor and they're really excited that he's coming in. But that he's coming in for the 60th anniversary.
Oh wow, okay, good deal.
So David Tennant's coming back as kind of a bridge. He's not actually, I think the chick that just left, she's the 13th Doctor, so he's not David Tennant's
Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah, he's not actually the 14th Doctor, he's just a bridge doctor to get them, because the dude that's supposed to be playing the 14th Doctor is in the middle of shooting something and that he's not available. So rather than keeping fans on standby for 23 months, they were like, well, let's just go ahead and do a bridge series to bring us into the 60th anniversary. And then bring in the 14th Doctor.
There you go. They really didn't do Jodie Whittaker justice. The writing was sloppy for all her episodes. I feel bad, You had a kind of a turning point. As much as I wasn't a huge fan of it, it wasn't her fault because she's an actress. She's doing work. Just... It wasn't good for her tenure as doctor. I'll just give her that.
Yeah. And I apologize in advance. My dogs are behind me. They are having a grand old time.
Oh, the dogs are fine.
Yeah.
They're the pups. We're having a quiet morning this morning.
Aww.
Quiet mornings. Brought to you by Weed. Weed for when you want a quiet morning.
Wait, you fed Farkas weed?
No, he's at the groomer right now.
Oh.
I was just being silly. He's getting like the massive pounds of fur, his undercoat and everything else de-shedded from him. So
oh, gotcha.
He has a little relief.
I need to know. I need to figure out. So we've got 3 huskies and now a German Shepherd.
Why?
I was honestly after having Bosco for a couple weeks now. We did the right thing by accepting.
No, I'm teasing.
Yeah, no, I know, but why? Why? I'm gonna have to have a sign put up in my living room that says I will not rescue any more dogs after this one. But so the hair. The huskies are blowing their coat.
The hair.
The huskies are blowing
It's
their
enough
coat.
for another dog.
It is.
Or
We
two
could
dogs.
actually,
or
so
dogs.
if there is an apocalypse, if there is an Armageddon, we can make sweaters. And blankets.
You can make your own clothing
coasters.
from the
Yeah, we can make our own clothing. So, so there's a lot of hair everywhere. And
Rachel's Fashion Week. What, darling, what fur is this? I don't know the animal. It's the husky. It's wonderful. Keeps me warm. It's very animal. It's very sassy. I like it. We make a fur bikini. And look, it's only covered in Sports Illustrated. I love it. It's good. Anyway.
It's so hot right now.
It's so hot right now. It's the fashion. It's the fashion. I love the fashion. It's the husky fashion. So, my gosh, it's America Week. It's Miracle Week. 4th of July.
America! Okay, so...
America! Yeah. Anyway.
So, in case you noticed, in case you didn't notice, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the Dare to Be Stupid clip was just enough to hit us with a copyright. So,
Really?
yeah, I took it off. Um, so I'll be
Well, okay.
I'll be more careful in the future.
So Weird Al Yankovic and his people got mad.
No, YouTube. YouTube's a dick.
Oh, YouTube got
Yeah.
mad. Okay, well, F YouTube.
YouTube. So we were partially blocked in certain areas.
Oh,
Nobody from Al's camp contacted me at all, which is fine. Which is fine. I mean, and we were only kind of using it as an interim, so I went and got some copyright free stuff. I just have to, I have to give them credit in the writing of the podcast, which is fine, which is totally fine. And it
yeah.
works out. It works out because it's a creepy, weird thing like that circus funk that we used to use. So it's still sort of in the
Yes.
line of our circus. Yeah. So, but yes, it is America, which is copyrighted.
America.
America. So, Chris, for all the boys and girls out there who are listening to us for the first time, what is July 4th weekend about?
July 4th weekend is about independence, how we fought for our independence from the British and became our own country called the United States of America. And we had fireworks. But what a lot of people go is, it's day off, man.
It's
It's day
day
off, man.
off. It's a day off.
It's day off, man. I'm gonna tell you what, all them years in school we do finger painting, man, and then we get a day off. Do 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 do.
So, they've already started
Yes,
fireworks in our neighborhood.
yes, of course. We had fireworks Thursday. We
Yeah,
started fireworks Thursday. It's like, really?
the Huskies don't like it. So
No,
they get all like over. They like I've got
no.
Apollo and Boomer getting all over me and laying on me and pushing behind me like just make it stop, mom. And then
Yeah,
of course the German Shepherd, who was primarily an outside dog before we took him, he just lays there like nah, FOMO.
like what the hell's wrong with you people?
What's the matter with you, YOLO?
What's the matter
What's
with
up?
you?
Other acronym here. Insert. So yeah,
Other acronym here.
other acronym here. Insert acronym
Yeah.
here. Some relevant bolo, AFAB, whatevs. He's a zoomer. He doesn't give a shit.
He does not care. He does not care. Oh, well, in other news,
In other news,
Alan Arkin.
I know
That's sad.
it is
I
sad.
mean,
It is sad.
look, he was up there in age, and let's face it, but man, we need to put a circle of protection around certain people
Well, I
just for
mean,
the next year, okay?
maybe, yeah. I mean, we all tried to do that. We all tried to do that with Betty
With
White.
Betty White, and of course, people curse that. Betty White, she's 100. We're celebrating her 100th birthday. Why did you put that cover out when she's not 100 yet? But anyway, Alan Arkin. If you haven't, if you want to see it, watch the Kaminsky Method, and it's hysterical with he and Michael Douglas. Just two old, crotchety, cranky people. If you like that kind of humor, that kind of grumpy old men, or the
He
cool
was
kids humor, just it's hysterical.
he is hilarious, and what I think one of the things that I love about Alan Arkin was he's so unmemorable. Like he's so unmemorable, he's memorable. Like he's one of those people that come into a show or a movie, and you're like, who the fuck is that guy? Who is that guy? And then you go, all right, he's that guy. He's that guy. That's that
Right,
guy.
exactly.
And his characters are so like there's one that's kind of sticking out, and I can't remember. See, and this is it. This is a perfect example. I can't remember what movie it was. I can't remember when it was. I can't remember what character it was. But I just remember him in this weird stance where he's arguing and like lecturing somebody, and it was the
Hmm.
way he did it. He's like, you don't know what you're talking about, why are you even trying? And he had that voice and that body language, and it was amazing. And yet I can't remember shit.
there's a movie he did with Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman where they're all losing their homes or something's going on, and they try to rob a bank, or they start practicing robbing a bank because who's going to stop old people, right? And Alan Arkin is on his hover round, the scooter, all the time. He can't really walk, he's on his scooter, so he robs a grocery store. And the scene, I can't think of the movie, but the scene is him riding the scooter out of the grocery store with everything that he stole. And he might be going maybe 3-4 miles an hour. I mean, really not going super fast. And it's Kenan Thompson, who's the grocery store manager, walking after him, going, "Sir, please, sir, come on, just bring it back, sir, no, no." Whee! And he goes, "I gotta make it go faster." And he kicks it. I'm kicking it into high gear, and he starts going like maybe 3 more miles an hour. And you hear it, wee, wee, wee.
So
And Keenan is behind him going, "Oh man, this old man gonna make me run."
yeah, just so one of the most familiar movies that he is in is Glenn Ross. That's one of the
Right.
most pivotal Alan Arkin movies. He
Absolute great movie with him.
Amazing film. He also did voices in The Minions. He was Wild Knuckles.
He was Wild Knuckles in the Minions. Okay.
Minions. He was in Dumbo. Okay, he was in Get Shorty, Going in Style, BoJack Horseman, Love the Coopers, $1 Million Arm, Grudge Match, Armed Response, and so on. I mean, he's been in so much. But it's like everything he's ever done. Like, I love the later ones. I love his young stuff when he was young. Like
The later stuff,
Glengarry
yeah.
Glen. But when he, as an old man, like, he always played that crotchety old man. Like, shut the hell up, kid, kind of a thing. And I loved that. And he would show up.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine. And he would show up where nobody expected him to show up. Like the Jerky Boys.
Right.
He was Ernie Lazaro. Or Lazaro.
Ernie Lazaro and the Jerky Boy.
He was Tony's boss, and So I Married an Axe Murderer. That, I think, is where I think that's where he was.
Right.
Like, he was the guy that kept coming up to Tony going, like, between the two of them, they were having, like, these insecure issues, so they would always have these, like, "I'm sorry, was I too loud? That was
right.
It. That's what I remember him most for."
They wanted to have that hard-boiled cop moment.
Yeah, and he tried to have it, and it was
he was just such a sweet
awkward.
captain, you know?
It was the most awkward moment in the world, and you're just like, this is really weird. And he's like, "No, this works." He's like, "If you want to be out there like Starsky and Hutch, like some pimp-ridden, and it just didn't work, and it was just so
It just did, yeah, it didn't capture.
Yeah.
Oh man, hours of fun.
Hours of fun. He's got so many movies. I think. Let's see. Let's go back. 57. IMDb has him going back to 1957, but I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know if there's any more than that just aren't on IMDb, because IMDb may have a record limit.
IMDb used to really carry a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh no, you have to subscribe to IMDb." You're kind of going, "Wait, what? When did this happen? When did everything you need to subscribe? Weren't you just a free service at one point?" No? Okay. But
Excuse me.
I digress. So, Merrrricuhhh, Huskies.
Huskies, which are Siberian and not.
They're not American.
They're not.
They could be American.
They're American by proxy.
American by proxy. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, it looks like Kevin Spacey's going back on trial.
Oh, really?
Trial in the
what?
UK. More sex stuff. I mean, are we shocked by it? No, not really. After everything that's going on with Kevin Spacey,
I'm a little shocked by it. Not gonna lie.
No, I'm honestly I'm not. He's always kind of, to me personally, he's always kind of portrayed and put off that vibe of, "Fuck you, I don't care. Do as I say. I'm Kevin Spacey."
Well, yeah, and even, I mean, in truth, those are the characters he played too, which was,
right.
Screw you.
And he was perfect at it.
And he was perfect at it. He really is the perfect embodiment of narcissistic Hollywood. And
again, Glenn Ross, he played the prick boss there.
And so, Jump the Shark. That was one of my
Mm-hmm.
favorite movies that he was in. American Beauty was okay, but it was creepy. Um, which
Kaiser Soze in The
ironically,
Usual
Kaiser,
Suspects.
I think Kaiser Soze is probably one of my favorites for him. And look, here's the thing. It's like it's such a catch-22. I really love some of the shit he put out there, but then to find out that he like raped people,
Right, yeah.
and I'm like, wait a minute, what? And that's why I think a lot. I like. I don't know. A lot of this stuff that's coming out lately. The Black Book, Epstein, who didn't kill himself. The chick that worked for him now letting out all these names. People who are outing them on Twitter. Tom Hanks might be involved. Oprah might be involved. And I'm just kind of like, look, y'all. Are you
You
really? Are
never. I
you
mean, look,
surprised? Are you surprised?
the ones who are to me on the list when they just show up one time, I have a feeling they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll go down," and they didn't know anything about it, and then show
Right.
up and go, "Wait, what? What?
Yeah,
No, get me
we're
the hell
just
out of here!"
we're just trying to hobnob with the blue bloods and all of the
Right,
the money and blah 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 so we can get our next leg up, blah blah. Oh my god, no, bye 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 bye.
right.
Which
Because you
which is
notice a lot of
fine.
them are just like one time. They're like, "Nope, never
Yep.
coming back."
Nope, never coming
It's
back.
the people like I don't know,
Weinstein,
former, former President
Epstein.
Bill Clinton 27 times.
Oh
Um,
god. But see then the question is when those people went down there and they went, "Hoo, ha, yipe, 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 yipe." Why didn't they go to somebody and tell somebody
right.
what the
Why
hell
didn't they
was
say
going
anything?
on?
That's kind of the problem I have. Why
That's
didn't you say anything? You know, you're almost complicit
yeah.
in going. Okay, are you worried that your career you may be more celebrated than your career? Speaking of careers, since we're segueing into that a little bit,
I
Jonathan Majors, Jonathan Majors, who got accused of abusing his woman. If you don't know who Jonathan Majors was, or is, he is Kang in the Marvel series. He was Kang in the Loki television series, and he was also Kang in the
Oh.
Ant-Man movie, the last Ant-Man movie we had. They were going to center him as the big bad villain, as the Thanos of this new, uh, five, whatever, phase five, or whatever we're in
Oh
now with
my
Marvel.
god, they're alleging all kinds of stuff. What the
Right,
hell?
alleging. See, now it's come to find out that he never laid a hand on his girl that accused him of beating. She was beating him. All this evidence is now
So
coming out that she was abusing him.
so here's the thing that's happened that I'm seeing a trend of here lately. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not
No, yeah, I'm with you
I'm not
here. I know what you're gonna
saying
say, so I'm with you.
I'm not saying that like there's a content creator that I follow who is going through a divorce and everybody's kind of going back and forth. Now granted, he is a bit of a narcissist, he is a bit of an asshole, but he tells the truth and he helps bring voice to what's important, right? I don't think he's abusing his wife, but who knows? I don't know. The truth will come out. The truth always comes out. But then you've got the whole Amber Heard thing. And it turns out that both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were just being dicks to each other, but she went a
Right,
little too far and he called her on it and they made her pay for it. So now we've got Jonathan Majors where allegations are coming out of violence on the magazine Dreams set. Method acting accounts for alleged violence, blah 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 blah,
right.
and it turns out that it's entirely possible he was being abused by his significant other. So here's the I wish the media would learn their fucking lesson.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, not only that, but it's like they take all of this shit. We could go back, and I'm going to bring this up for a hot second. I don't want to sit here because you and I had discussed not bringing all of this into the podcast this year, but
Right,
go all the way back to COVID and all the fucking shit with the vaccines. The media railed people that didn't want vaccines. The media beat the crap out of everybody who tried to go, wait a minute, we really need to ask more questions. One prime minister has come up so far and said, we were wrong, I'm sorry. Now,
right,
the media has lost, the mainstream media has lost, especially in America, the viewership, the backing, the trust of their viewers, of their constituents. They've lost it. all the way across. Okay, take it away from COVID. The Hunter Biden scandals, the Biden problems, the Trump issues, all of the P tape, Hillary's server, all of the political stuff, all the entire political landscape on all sides. Mainstream
It's
media
lost the way.
has absolutely botched all of it. So much so in America that other countries have the absolute wrong idea about what's going on in America.
This is true.
So at this point, why hasn't the mainstream media, Reuters, Rolling Stone, Vulture, Yahoo, Game Rant, The Washington Post, The New York Post, The New Yorker, whatever, pick one, main websites that people go to, why haven't they stopped and said, hang on a minute, we really need to check our shit. We need to check it. We need to find out what the hell's going on. CNN, also known as the crap news network, has not had a legit story. I mean, at one point back in the 90s, they were like, we are the one and only reliable news source. And I went there looking for specific things, especially post 9/11, right? Because they were kind of the leading journalists in real news of what was going on in the world and home. Now they're just another tabloid rag that can't see past their own bullshit, and they refuse to change their menu. So I think people who, like Insider, Jonathan Major's coworker alleged violence on Magazine Dream set. Shut up. When you know something, then say something. But the problem that they're going to have now is they're going to drag him through the mud as this abuser, he's in the patriarchy, he's a large black male beating the crap out of his girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. Hollywood Insider says that he beat up his girlfriend. And they're going to drag him through the mud. Now, the problem is, you got the Jussie Smollett problem, where he wanted so much attention, he made it up. You got the what's her face from Juno.
What's her face from Juno?
She is now a he. Elliot
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page, yeah. Right? So Elliot Page now is making up these things about, I'm gonna gay bash you. Somebody who's actually gay bashing people doesn't run into a room going, I'm gonna gay bash you. Don't get me wrong, I hope no harm comes to him. I do. But at the same time, why do you have to be so irrelevant at all? Why do you have to feel like you're that, like, this all goes back, and I'm not saying that Jonathan Majors is putting this out as a scheme to get attention. I'm not saying that.
Right.
Dylan Mulvaney is a scheme to get attention. Elliot Page is a scheme to get attention. Jussie Smollett is a scheme to get attention. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the mainstream media is now going to ruin Jonathan Majors just to have the lead story for 24 hours, rather than waiting to get all the facts together. Share the facts. Oh, you're going to answer my question?
I will answer your question.
My statement?
Your statement. I'm going to tell you what your question. Fact. Whoa, easy.
I digress. Sorry, I've been watching the Hodge Twins. It's a damn good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. The media used to have a responsibility to the average American citizen. Well, no, I shouldn't say average, to all citizens. For an hour a day, they would inform, educate, and keep us up to date on current events. The media used to have the idea or the foundation of get it out and make sure it is correct. They would tell a story, but they would say, we don't have details at this time. We have loose information, more information as it comes. They would break the story and then go, okay, look, let's keep it in. This is what we have right now. We don't have all the details. It's coming in. Now it's no longer get it out there and make sure it's correct. It's just get it out there.
Yeah, yeah.
News has lost the responsibility to not only inform and educate, but to make sure their facts are correct.
And
because no longer news is held by
no,
private,
yeah.
private sources. It's corporate sources.
Well,
There's a corporate agenda with all news, and
there
that's
is, and
across the board.
there, there are, and I think this is what a lot of people are just now learning, which is what's scary. And so, I mean, and this kind of goes back to, and I know I'm all over the place today. I've had a cup of coffee. I had my bulletproof coffee, and I'm like, I've got energy. Um, the
Bulletproof coffee. We'd like a sponsorship.
Oh no, bulletproof coffee is a recipe. It's not actually it.
No, it's actually a brand.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bulletproof coffee. Send me some coffee, and I'll talk about it on air.
There you go.
So this kind of goes back to the Kevin Spacey. I am surprised, only because we haven't heard anything from him in so long. You know, he's been quiet. He's been quiet for
he's been
a long
quiet.
time. So I am surprised there. I mean, he's been quiet. The media around him has
Wouldn't
even been,
you?
Well, yeah. I mean, shit, yeah. But, you know, the media around him has also been kind of quiet. So to hear something come up now and in another country, that really, like, blows my mind. But the thing
it's the UK. It's the UK suit. He's got a couple that are going on, but now it's
okay.
like it's the United Kingdom suit's turn. You know,
Gotcha.
they're like, what? Get here, wanker.
Mind the gap.
Mind the gap, wanker. Sit down.
But a lot of people are starting to realize that, like, corporate media, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN, corporate media, mainstream media, mainstream, they've all got investors that do, like you said, they have corporate agendas. They have agendas.
They've got stockholders to answer to.
Right, that make money
ratings
based on, yeah. So it's not necessarily about the truth anymore. Like back in the day when it was an hour a day, and also the problem is it's not just an hour a day anymore.
It's an entire 24-hour news cycle.
Right. I was talking to one of my best friends, and we were talking about her kids. One is on the cusp of a millennial, but he's more of a Zoomer. And then her youngest is a Zoomer. And she's like, I don't understand the mentality of these kids. And I'm like, social media. The millennials, would, you know, Generation X, we're still feral. We drank from the hose, blah, blah, blah. Don't fuck with us. We are not the bigger person, right? We will fight. We will come back at you about stuff. Millennials are kind of bridging the gap between, because Generation X was there for the birth of some of this technology, so we're all kind of straddling that bridge between the boomers and the millennials. The millennials kind of had okay, so we're here, we've got some stuff, this is cool, but let's go touch grass, right? Whereas the Zoomers, it's all technology all the time.
It's technobabble.
Technobabble.
Gen X has cherry-picked the best of both.
Yes.
We've had that luxury, being a Gen Xer, of cherry-picking the best of the boomers and kind of the best of the millennials,
right,
to a degree, because we were that in between. We're old enough to know what has been set for us, but we're also young enough to go, oh, look, technology, we can use it. Oh, by the way, we created some of this stuff here. Go ahead and have it.
Yeah, go ahead, enjoy it. But the Zoomers have grown up with tablets in front of them and smartphones, and they don't know any better, and and so they don't have the. And this was what was interesting. Now, granted, the boy is autistic, so there's always going to be that kind of barrier of communication with him.
Right.
But part of his, and I even had this conversation with him because he's 19 now, and he's able to have this conversation a little bit. And I'm like, part of the reason why you have a hard time communicating with us and your parents is because you spend too much time on YouTube.
Exactly.
And he's like, but I watch nice videos. I'm like, it doesn't matter. YouTube
doesn't matter
to melt your brain, and constant stimulation of entertainment and endorphins shuts down that communication bit of your brain where you use your words. Like
I'm going to give an editorial.
Yes.
I have been told, why don't we hold Gen X accountable for things?
We didn't do it.
Exactly. Let me inform you those of you who want to hold Gen X accountable, you don't want us in this fight.
Yeah, you don't want
You
us in this
don't
fight.
need us in this
But
fight
here's the thing. What do you mean hold Gen X accountable?
for everything going on. Because we're the lost generation. Honestly, Gen X is really sitting back, being quiet, letting things happen as they are, and then now here's the secret. I'll let you in on the secret of what's
Ooh,
going on
ooh,
with
ooh.
Gen
Let me
X.
write this down. Hang on a minute. Go
Write it
ahead.
down.
I'm
Write it
writing
down.
this down.
Go ahead. Pause for a second. I'm talking to you millennials and Gen Zs and Zoomers and Boomers and Toomers and whatever.
I have my notepad page up and my keyboard at ready. Go, Mr. Myers.
Thank you. You don't want us to start correcting and going on and telling you exactly what we think. See, the generation now, you have all this stuff available to you, all this counseling and all this and all that, and your meds and your this, and you have it all. It's all swipe left, swipe right, all readily available to you. We had to deal with it as it came to us.
Yep.
Okay? Mental issues, we dealt with it on our own. That's why some of us are a little weird
Yeah, we are.
and a little interesting and we're a
Yeah, we
little
are.
out there.
That's why we're going to make
Okay?
great old people sitting on the porch going, hey, get off my lawn.
We don't hurt you. We just let you do and give you enough rope to hang yourself.
That
And
right
when you
there.
are
Yeah.
there, when you're at that point, that's when we come in and we erase you.
Yep. See, we don't
Right?
believe in cancel culture because
No.
we let you cancel yourself. Cancel culture is going in and making a big stink about it and going, you're bad, you're canceled. No. Generation X just comes in going, that's an idiot. Let him cancel himself. Bye.
Gen X can forgive because we realize, all right, well, they were our heroes and they've kind of fallen. Now, there's some things we can't forgive, but there's things we can go, okay, well, we're going to let you do you for a while and move on.
Right.
All these, and I don't want to sound like the old crotchety man, but all these children come and want to point the finger and recite things, and I just have to do the Aslan and do not recite the deep magic to me, young one. I was there when it was written.
Exactly.
Be gone.
Be gone.
In essence, to wrap it all up, you don't want this. You don't want this smoke. You don't want none of it. You don't want to open that box. Do not anger Gen X. There's
No.
more of us than there are of you on any side.
And we are the silent majority, and the reason we're silent is because we're smart about it.
In essence, we're just sitting back waiting for y'all to kill each other and end each other off so we can come in and take over and show you how it's done.
Well, not even that. Well, yeah, that.
Now, I'm being funny about that.
No, it's so that. No, but it's kind of true. It's like I just had a situation that is absolutely unrelated to reality, and I had to kind of go. I understand that you're emotional and that you're having an issue right now, but this is not the time or place to be that way. So back up, shut up, and respect the situation. And they don't understand that, yes, there are emotions tied to things. Yes, there are truths and issues that need to be resolved, but there's ways to go about them that actually harm less people. And
we are fine without technology, young people.
We are fine without technology. And so it's just kind of what, but then it kind of goes back to the people that are saying, oh, why don't we hold Gen X responsible? How? What are you going to do to hold us accountable for how? Get me in a room and explain to me how I'm accountable for your addiction to your smartphone. And then,
right, exactly.
Or I'm responsible for your addiction to your smartphone. And then when you tell me how I'm responsible for your addiction to your smartphone, how am I to be held accountable for that? Because as a child who grew up in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s with alcoholic parents, I learned early on, your addiction is your shit. I can't do anything to change that. Nothing I say or do will take away your addiction to your drug. So therefore, if you pull me in and you say you're responsible for this, okay, how am I responsible for that? Well, you're part of the generation that helped create that. Right, I may be part of the generation that helped create that, but I personally did not create that. And even if I did create that, I am also part of the generation that put in the warnings on the paper in the box that you threw away about screen time and how it damages your brain. I'm also part of the generation that put in place all of the guardrails on some of the shit that you're imbibing. So go ahead and hold me accountable. What am I supposed to do? Well, I'm addicted to it and it's your fault. I disagree with that, but okay, here, I'll take it away from you so that you're not addicted to it anymore. All that does is make you mad at me and you go get another smartphone.
You could get another tablet, another phone.
Right. So bite me. Who, if I truly am to be held accountable for something as part of a generation, show me and I'm happy. And that's the great thing about Generation X. You want to hold us accountable for stuff? Show us what it is and we're happy to be accountable for it.
We'll talk it out. See, we don't hide behind screens. We don't hide behind. We're from that generation is if you said something to us or said something about us and we find out, well, we come and deal with you.
Yeah, face to face.
Face to face. Sometimes fist to mouth.
Or boot to
Sometimes
head.
you had a tattoo on your face that wasn't permanent, but a temporary tattoo of a hand or a foot or something. See, for instance,
we were the ones that were hit with rulers by our parents, and
we were hit with rulers, spoons, shoes,
belts.
And in Espanol, chanclas, un chancleta.
Mira, wash.
Mira, un chancleta. And thrown at you with pinpoint accuracy or a wooden spoon. Ooh, the Italians had the wooden spoon. No, I can't claim the Italians had the wooden spoon. But here,
no, I think the Irish. I think it was the Irish with the wooden spoons because my whole family was Irish Catholics,
right?
And Methodists and other Irish people. And my parents went to school in Catholic schools where they did wrap your knuckles with rulers, etc. So a little spanking goes a long way.
So I say this, as our Gen X times. We didn't hide behind screens. Here's a perfect example. I've grown in social media, and I'm very happy that my following has grown and everything else. But the old adage, you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud. So here's a nice little comment from a young person. You can tell he hasn't even gotten hair on the field yet. There's no grass down there yet. He hasn't they haven't even dropped yet. We'll just go ahead and say that's how old he is. He looked at a picture of me. And this is kind of clever. I have to give it to him this. An angel asked God how many chins he should give you, and he said yes. So that is very clever in calling me fat. But Jackson, Jaxson, at Shiva's Art, let's spell this out on TikTok, at CHOVISART, young man, I don't think you should be making fun of anybody just yet, because it's kind of sad looking at his page. He has a father who's a little person in a wheelchair.
Uh-oh.
Okay. He has a lot of issues. He calls himself a rainbow baby.
Aww.
And if those of you who know what a rainbow baby is, he is a miracle child. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of videos with his father, the little person in the wheelchair. I have nothing against the father. But young man, I'm going to ask you, have people ever made fun of you and your father or anything like that? And why would you do that to somebody else?
No, yeah.
Okay? Be better. Be better. And by the way, applaud you for the low-hanging fruit you went after, obviously over my weight, but I would have done something more original like, what's your blood type? BBQ negative? Chins? Come on. That's the low-hanging fruit, Jackson! Do
Oh
better.
God, Chris, why the long face?
Why the long face? Exactly.
But at the same time, you're not a big guy. Like, you're not a big guy. Like, so, I mean, you earned those chins. They're like
I'm
the
also 50.
yeah, they're like the rings of a
Certain
tree.
things gotta go down,
Yeah,
down
stuff
50.
sags, and
You
camera
don't
angles.
bounce back at certain things after 50.
Yeah,
Now,
no. And so I get it. I get it. They're trying to, they're trying to be relevant. They're trying to
he was
get,
being cute. He
they're
was
trying to get
being funny,
clicks.
but
It's okay. Yeah, no, it's okay.
oh, Jackson, my little summer child. No, no.
And
Winter is coming, Jackson. Winter is coming.
yeah, you gotta. I think what's going to be really interesting is I had in one of the conversations I had with someone, we were talking about, like, I think technology, social media especially, social media specifically, has peaked. Like, this is its peak. We're
Yeah,
seeing its peak, and I think that within the next 5 years, stuff's going to get shut down. Stuff's going to get quiet. Things are going to fail. There may, I mean, who knows? We may even have whatever, one of those EMP things, and all of a sudden nothing works. But I don't see this trend continuing much longer, where TikTok and YouTube dictate the news. So I mean, there are
it's an
platforms.
interesting it's an interesting usage of YouTube and TikTok with the news because what we see on television is as we said earlier is corporate. Sometimes it's corporate fed or
Right,
what stockholders want to see.
right,
What you're seeing via YouTube, TikTok, and what have you are firsthand accounts of what's going on. For instance, they showed a news clip of Ukraine or one of these areas, over there that's going on, of all this war and this footage and all this, and then a person is watching the footage right there on television with his phone
right.
and
Going
goes,
there's
"Okay, that's kind of odd," and
it.
then takes it out to the window
It
right
was
where it's supposed
Kiev.
to be live going
Yeah,
on, and there's nothing happening.
it was in Kiev or
It
Kiev.
was in Kiev. Thank you.
Yeah. And they were showing how Kiev was being bombed and all this other stuff was going on, and the guy's looking out his window at the very square that they're showing, and it's like, no. So in that sense, yes, I do like that that's available, but, like, for example, TikTok is China doesn't even let TikTok exist on their smartphones and tablets and stuff.
Oh, of
So
course they don't want that to
no.
exist.
So at some point, that's going to get reeled in. And then another version of TikTok that's a little bit more secure and isn't run by a communist country that wants to kill people will emerge. And it'll become a huge deal.
Well, they're not. TikTok is not run by China, the government itself. It's run by a Taiwanese corporate entity, if I'm correct.
Oh, so all of that I just said was wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's been that's please. I'm not please. I'm not trying to sit and tell you, oh, you're wrong.
I'm
That's
happy to be
what's.
wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought it was run by China for a while until they brought that guy, the CEO, to Washington to kind of lambast him, and he sort of looked like, you people are very stupid. No, this is we're not. No, we're not China. I am I Chinese? Yes, but I'm in Taiwan. People are a little confused about what China actually is. There's more areas of the country that are Chinese descent, but not under Chinese control. Like, if, for instance, Singapore, Taiwan, uh, Hong Kong is now under Chinese control, but it used to not be. Hong Kong used to be a British protectorate. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm just listening.
Okay.
I'm listening because I'm learning, because I don't know all of the facts. I regurgitate stupid shit.
You do. You do not.
I do not.
You
Well,
do not.
no, but I mean, in some sense, I do. That was really nasally.
By the way, Rachel has had way too much coffee
I've
today.
had 1 cup of coffee, but to be fair,
Bullshit.
no, really, I've had
To
one
be
cup of coffee. To
fair,
be
to be
fair,
fair, to be fair.
it's the first caffeine I've had in like 3 days.
Oh, see, no, Mistress Caffeine and I, we are very close and we're very good friends. I can't
Well,
give you up.
I'm
I won't give you up.
I
My coffee cup and I are talking. I won't give you up. I
I
swear.
do you need a room? Do you need a minute?
No.
I've got a private room off to the side if you
Like,
need.
I put down cigarettes easier than I did
I
putting down
know,
coffee.
and
I
so
can't quit coffee.
I can't quit coffee either. But the problem is it's spiking my cortisol, which is a fight or
Oh.
flight. Yeah, it's a fight or flight hormone, which is
Oh,
causing
so
some
you're
of.
having a Beavis moment.
Yeah, and so it like I have to be careful. I apparently am taking in too much caffeine, which is causing
Yeah.
other issues in my system. So I'm trying to lessen my
Oh.
caffeine. So I'll do decaf. It's not the same. It's just it's almost a tease, but I will do decaf and dress it up a bit. The it's just part of me trying to like I'm 48. I'm going to be 49 in February, and I want to hit 50 and actually have, because our families are, we're all living to about 100. So if this is my first half of my life, I'd like to live the second half of my life with less pain, which is hard because if you think about what happens in the second half of your life, your body starts to break down. That's when you have
Right.
arthritis. That's when you have all these problems. But I'm like, look, I'm off after being on carnivore for 3 or 4 months now, 5 months now. I'm off all of my medication. So that's a
Mm.
big deal. Like, I'm off blood pressure medication, I'm off diabetes medication, I'm off, I was on Cymbalta for my fibromyalgia pain and anxiety. I'm off all of that. So now it's just a matter of figuring out what foods and what chemicals are triggering the problems in my system. So I've changed my shampoo, I've changed my body wash, I've changed my deodorant, I've lessened on caffeine, I'm fasting periodically, I'm eating carnivore, so it's just meat products. It's mainly steak and butter, and eggs. And then, but I do go a little overboard on cheese because God, I love cheese. Um,
Jeez.
cheese. And slowly but surely, I'm getting better. But at the same time, like right now, because when my cortisol spikes, like my body swells up. So my hands are swollen. My fingertips hurt. Like it's like, come on.
Mm.
And I did cheat the other day. We got Indian food. And so I had naan. I had a full piece of naan. And I'm like, carbs be damned. I'm eating a piece of naan.
That is all you. That is all you with the Indian food.
Oh, buttered chicken is
No.
so good.
No. No.
But we are also talking
No.
about, we're going to get, like I said in the last podcast, we're getting a stockpile of beef, American grown and fed beef, grown, fed, and finished in America.
America.
America. So yeah, speaking of revolutions, apparently France has is having some issues.
France and Russia.
Well, of course Russia, but new in the news is France. They're having their version of the Summer of Love. So
Oh, are they having a Bastille Day moment? What's going on?
no. Summer of Love being post George Floyd. They had
Oh.
an officer involved shooting where somebody was killed in a suburb, and they're all freaking out
Oh.
about it. And so the French police are having to really step up and protect the city because the city is just there. One of the what got my attention was there was a news article that the title said France has fallen. And I'm like, what? What do you
Wow,
mean?
that's a misleading article.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? And I went and read it, and it's basically they're having, not to minimize it. I mean, this isn't. I'm not trying to minimize it, but the best way to describe it is they're having their George Floyd moment,
Ugh.
which sucks. It really sucks. But the and I hate to even say this, but there is kind of an upside to this, that it's not just the US. Like, some of the comments that were made right after George Floyd, the situation with George Floyd happened, and then that summer of love where all of the riots were going on, people thought it was just the US police institutions that were having issues.
Nope.
And it's not. Now, I don't know all of the details behind the French shooting. Listeners can go look it up. But the claim is that it was an unlawful shooting. And that's all I need to see, right? I'm not going to dig further into it because with my background in law enforcement, I want to tear things apart and everything, but it's another country. They have their own laws. They have their own rules. They have their own engagements. They have their own scale of escalation. I'm not going to go there and assume I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
All I know is that it's mirroring what happened here. So my point is, we are not terminally unique in the US with having issues where people, A, don't understand law enforcement and what they have to go through, are struggling against police that are not above par, and that it's not, that it is fixable. What I do want to say is I'm really proud of the French people. Like, because I don't think France has freedom of speech. Like, that was one of the things when they started rioting about the retirement stuff. That's why it was such a big deal that they were having these demonstrations and protests, because I don't think France has freedom of speech.
Well, I think they do have. They have to have some form of freedom of speech. They have to. France has come a long way since.
Right, but they don't have it as a constitutional right. Like, they're not going to get, like, they're allowed to speak up. It's not, but I mean, like, they don't have, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think, like, our Constitution, what sets us apart, which is what, leads to July 4th, what sets us apart as a country is the fact that we have rights listed in the Constitution, that we are allowed to gather, we are allowed to demonstrate, we are allowed to protest, we are allowed to speak up. Like, it's expected, whereas a lot of European countries do not have that. They're allowed to speak up, but they're not allowed to speak up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying now. I understand.
Like,
I'm with
Russia, they were having conversations with people who were, so how do you feel about the war? And before the person could even finish the sentence, they were being tackled by a soldier. Like, they're not allowed to talk about that shit. They're also not allowed to talk about the fact that, an entire militant group was paid by Putin to go into the Ukraine, and then turned around and said, no, we're going to come after you. So there's this, that
you gotta love that, right?
That militant group is cooing against Putin. I have no idea what the status is on that. I haven't followed up. Do you know anything about it?
I don't know. I don't know the status on it, honestly. It kind of kills me that here we are, Vladimir, I will send mercenary group in. Wait, what do you mean they're coming after me? No, wait, no. Stop now. It just seems to look.
Okay, so it looks like it fizzled. As of June 23rd, Russian mercenary group revolt against Moscow fizzles, but exposes.
Oh, did they quell it?
Yeah, it looks like it fizzled out.
Okay, so they quelled it.
Wow, this is from the AP. This is from Associated Press. The greatest challenge to Russian President Vladimir Putin in his more than 2 decades of power fizzled out after the rebellious mercenary commander who ordered his troops to march on Moscow abruptly reached a deal with the Kremlin to go into exile and sounded the retreat. Okay, if that's not Russia, I don't know what is. Like,
well,
when you had the 80s and the Cold War and everything, if that doesn't sound Russian to you,
right?
I don't know what is.
A coup was bound to happen sooner or later for Russia, because I mean they seem to have this 20-30 year gap of okay, we're going to be in power for this long, and then okay, revolt. But I don't know. All I know is, it's the 4th of July here. It's a holiday weekend, and we hope everybody is enjoying it.
Yeah, stay safe. Don't do anything
stay
stupid.
safe.
Don't aim fireworks at each other.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't shoot your guns in the air because the bullets have to come down somewhere. Don't, just be careful. Stay safe.
Be smart.
Be smart. Enjoy the time. And if you insist on drinking Bud Light, drink Bud Light, but there's a better piss water out there for you.
Just don't drink. Look, have a craft beer.
Drink local.
Be American. Drink local. Drink booze. Or if you have issues, don't drink.
Or don't.
But anyway, on that note, I think that's a podcast. Because I'm looking at the big hand, and Mickey's big hand is on the little hand, going, "Hey, it's time to go."
The big hand's on the little hand. What are you trying to say? Do we even really need to get into the whole Disney thing right now? Do we need to talk about the Disney park worker who was a pedophile? No. That's another topic. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Thanks, guys. Be safe out there, and we'll see you on the next randomness of random things.
Say goodnight, Rachel.
Good night, Rachel. Coffee. This has been another random podcast brought to you by the Department of Understanding Humans, also known as DUH. Check out the links in the description for ways to find our weird, and remember, when in doubt, duh.